Hi everyone, it's me, Lindsay with EquipMeOT, here today to talk about transport wheelchairs. I've already done a video that really highlights what a transport wheelchair is, how you might use it, who might use it. This video is going to compare head-to-head two very popular types of transport wheelchairs to talk about the features that you might want for yourself or your loved one or somebody you're caring for. So I have two popular brands here. I have the Medline Ultralight and I have the Carex Ultralight. They have a lot of similarities and a few key differences that I want to highlight to help you make your decision on which one to purchase. So let's start with price. These are very similarly priced within $20 of each other. This one here by Carex is priced at $150 and this one by Medline is around $170. The prices do fluctuate a bit. These are prices that I purchased them at on Amazon, and those prices can go up and down depending on demand. So I do find that that price is a very reasonable one for the quality of chair that you get. You are going to get a decent amount of use out of these several years if you're not actually using them daily. But again, these are meant as a temporary solution or a short-term solution for getting out into the community, going to doctor's appointments, visiting a restaurant, things like that. These are not meant to be an all-day, everyday chair. Okay, so let's talk about some of the key factors that you would need to know for these chairs to work. They are both going to accommodate around 300 pounds as far as the person who is riding in them. They have a slight difference in the width. This seat is 19 inches wide, so you're going to get a little extra width. This one is only 18 inches wide. So slightly different, but not a huge difference, but it is important to know the size of the person who's going to be riding in the chair. Neither one is going to come with the additional seat cushion. I highly recommend that each person who uses a chair like this has the additional seat cushion for comfort and safety. That's going to make it a much more comfortable ride and take away some of the vibration, as these chairs do tend to vibrate a bit, especially on rough surfaces. They both come with brakes. They both fold up quite small. They are going to be a very similar weight. This one actually weighs around 23.5 pounds with the footrest removed. This one over here by Carex is going to be 25 pounds with the footrest removed. So both of them fairly lightweight and easy to place into the back of most vehicles. So that's really important to take note of. All right, let's talk about some key differences now. I'm going to turn these chairs around so we can look at the backs, because it's important to note they have some very interesting differences back here. First things first, let's talk about the brake systems, okay? The Medline chair is going to have a brake system very similar to what you would find in a four-wheeled walker. So you can see we have these squeezable hand rests that are going to allow you to temporarily apply the brakes or more long-term apply the brakes by pressing them down. It works with a cable system that activates the brakes on each of the back wheels. The one thing about this type of brake system, it's convenient. It's going to be up high for the user so that they don't have to bend down to manage the brakes. The other thing to mention about this is these brake systems do tend to need to be tightened over time just because of the distance that the cable travels. Be aware of that. Sometimes they don't hold the best. So definitely take a look at that, especially if you're buying one of these used. You may have to tighten up the brake system. All right, on the Carex chair, we have a more traditional wheelchair style brake system. It's way down here. Each wheel has an activator that you have to press down into place, and it simply compresses the wheel. It's really simple to use, but does require bending. So if you're somebody who's going to be the caregiver and you don't think bending is a great option for you, definitely look for one that has these upper brakes. But one perk of this is these type of brakes tend to not have any issues with function. They tend to stay very snug, they're very secure, there's no question of whether they're going to hold in place. They're very, very tight. All right, so you may have noticed another key difference when I was down here with the brakes, and that is the size of the rear wheel. The Medline has a 12-inch rear wheel, and the Carex has a slightly smaller 8-inch rear wheel. That is important if you're going to be using this on uneven surfaces like trails, paved trails, sidewalks, things like that. This Medline one is going to function much better on those surfaces, whereas this Carex model I recommend for level surfaces only. Another little feature that I think is important to mention, the Medline has these nice spots to place your foot, and this is meant to apply your foot here, and you can put it on both sides, to allow you to bump up over curbs and any uneven thresholds. So it has a place to put the foot, so it's much easier. The Carex has a small peg here that you can also do it, much less comfortable, much less functional. So I actually don't recommend that for curb bumps and things like that. This Medline is going to be much better in those situations. All right, let's turn them around here. And I'd like to point out another key difference between these two chairs, the armrests. This is a really small factor, but a huge importance for people who are going to be using it for a specific purpose. These armrests have a nice long straight piece here that has a really nice cushion to rest your arm on. You're gonna be able to rest your entire forearm on it. They're really, really comfortable. This one has a hard plastic piece here, not much cushion at all, and it's quite short because we have this angled bit here. But this angled piece here is super important if the use of this chair is going to be for primarily going out into the community to enjoy going out to restaurants or visiting with family, where the user would be pushed up underneath a table or a desk, for example. These armrests are called restaurant armrests, and what they allow you is to kind of engage with the table, underneath the table enough. And sometimes you'll see them with an angle bar, sometimes you'll see them that go straight down and then over and create a 90-degree angle. Either way, the purpose is the same, and that is to allow the user to be pushed up under a table. This one, most likely the user would have to be transferred from the wheelchair into a regular chair to enjoy sitting at a table. That's really, really important if the function of this wheelchair for you is to attend gatherings like that. So just something to keep in mind. They both fold up small. I will show you how they each fold up. They have removable footrests. They come off the exact same way. They have these little pegs on them that you push aside, lift up. I always recommend taking the footrests off before folding because they're going to get in your way. So footrest comes off. They have small buttons on the back here. You push those in, this top portion folds down, and you simply lift in the center of the seat here, and then you can kind of push that down out of the way and fold it like that, okay? So there's that one. This one, same thing, push the footrests out of the way. These do add a little bit of weight too, so if you're really trying to reduce how much weight you're lifting, it's good to get those out. You're gonna fold this down. Same thing. And again, lift in the middle. I find that this little guy here, this Carex, folds much flatter than the Medline. You can see the Medline's a little bit just generally thicker. Interestingly though, when this thing is assembled, I find it's a little more secure. So just a little bit of a difference in their design. But again, both are going to weigh similar amounts when you go to lift them to place them in your vehicle or put them in storage. I can one hand lift these. I would recommend two hands for most people. So there you have it. A head-to-head comparison for two very common types of transport wheelchairs so that you can make the right choice for you or your loved one. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If you need links for these products, I'll also put those down in the description of this video. And if you need more information on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to EquipMeOT. Thank you.